Hello and welcome to this episode of the Bariatric Nutrition Coach podcast. So today we're talking self-care, and it's a topic I talk so much about with my clients, and it's part of the discussion I have about changing the mindset in your bariatric journey from being a dieting mindset, restrictive mindset, to my bariatric journey is, yes, about getting the best results I can, getting the most weight loss, improving my health, helping my joint pain go, all of those things. But first and foremost, it really for me is a self-care journey, about self-care, looking after yourself better.
Welcome to the Bariatric Nutrition Coach podcast, where we empower you with weight loss surgery, nutrition knowledge, mindset advice, and inspiration so you succeed in your weight and health journey. I'm your host, Jane Stoltz, and I am a bariatric dietitian who has helped over 1,300 people on their weight loss surgery journeys. I'm also a solo mum, lover of long walks while listening to podcasts, partial to a glass of wine, and the ocean is my happy place. Join me as I dive deep into bariatric nutrition and lifestyle topics and deliver them to you in bite-sized, palatable episodes every Monday. Now let's go.
So often when we hear the term self-care, we think bubble baths, massages, all of that. That is not what we're talking about. They're all great. I love a bubble bath. I love a massage. But we're talking about really the basics. So let me share with you a really and lovely simple definition I found for self-care. Self-care encompasses actions taken to maintain and enhance one's physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Let me read that again, just so you can really hear the words again. Self-care encompasses actions taken to maintain or enhance one's physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So when you think about it, your bariatric journey is really a self-care journey. It's much more than a weight loss journey. You know, self-care encompasses actions taken to maintain and enhance physical well-being. We want to track protein and fluid, take your vitamins, eat regularly, and do all of those really practical things to optimize and enhance your weight loss and the benefits that you get out of your bariatric journey. Also, we want a self-care component that really looks at how do we improve the mental and emotional well-being that you have. How do we move that mindset from just a dieting mindset to a self-care mindset where we're fostering our mental and emotional health as well. That's relationship with food, relationship with your body. So the topic of this podcast is, why is it so hard? I picked this topic because most of my clients that I work with will say that they find self-care hard. It is effort. It is not something that they find easy. Everyone else comes first. The practice of the habit of putting effort into themselves for their physical, mental, and emotional well-being is not something that they have fostered. They have let their health slide. They have put so many other things in their life first. And yes, we need to work. We've got family. You may have children or fur babies and all of those things. But having not put yourselves even on the priority list. And so after bariatric surgery, to get the best out of your surgery and to feel good in your journey, you need to be on the list. You need to be putting in effort and some time to look after yourself, to really make yourself a priority. And that can be really hard. And I talk to my clients, what stops you from allowing the time and the effort to look after yourself as much as you look after other people and things in your life? It's a great question to ask. It's a great thing to ponder, to journal on and say, how do I get in my own way? Why don't I feel that I deserve to have a good level of self-care? Or why do I have resistance to allowing time and effort to look after myself, to practice that self-care of my physical, mental, and emotional well-being? And it's what I'm talking about more, and I'm going to talk more about the steps I go through with my clients to move more into that self-care space. And it comes down to very practical steps. So self-care can be so hard as it requires change in long-standing habits and mindsets. And if you've been doing something or not doing something for a long time, it takes focus and commitment to change and to make different actions, to stop doing certain things or start doing certain things. And it also takes some awareness of your thoughts and your mindset, and being aware, or you think you should be doing certain things, but your thoughts say, it's not worth it, it won't work, I don't deserve to have this effort and focus put on my health, or whatever it is. We need to be aware of what's coming up in our thoughts that's stopping us from really moving into the full bariatric journey and doing all the really practical things, the self-care things that help us get the best result. And often moving into more of a self-care mindset for many, many people, and this is my experience with all my coaching and all my work in the area as a bariatric dietitian, is actually moving people, my clients, out of a dieting mindset. The dieting mindset is harsh. It is all about right or wrong, good or bad, allowed, not allowed, good day, bad day. There's no self-compassion. It's not about feeling better. It's not about thriving, being happier. It's about what the scale says. And that mindset does not serve you in your bariatric journey. It can derail you in your bariatric journey. We know diets don't work because many people, and if you've got to this point of having bariatric surgery, you've tried dieting. You restrict for a period and then you can't hold it, you move into an overeating cycle. Well, if you take that dieting mindset into your bariatric journey, you're going to be in that a place at some point where you want to go into a restrictive eating cycle, you're not getting the results that you would like, you can't hold yourself in that restrictive eating cycle forever, you're going to bounce, I call it bounce, or move into your own overeating cycle. That is where gain happens. If you're going to move between restrictive and overeating in your weight loss phase, in your bariatric surgery, your weight loss is going to slow down and stop. If you move between those two eating cycles, restrictive and overeating, in your maintenance phase, you will have a regain. Okay, so we want to really break down and leave that dieting mindset and foster a self-care mindset, a health mindset. And my role as a coach with my clients is to help them be aware of what gets in their way of doing all the things that we ask you to do. What gets in your way practically? Work, like your schedule. How do we work around that? What gets in your way emotionally? What are your thoughts? What stops you from actually doing certain actions or not doing certain actions? So let me lay out all of the key things that I coach on with my clients so they get the best out of their bariatric journey. Not just weight, but all the health benefits, all the things. And these are all actions of self-care. Tracking protein, being aware of your protein, where is it coming from? Being able to track, really simply. Reaching your protein goals, reaching your fluid goals, eating and drinking regularly, which helps regulate your appetite. Listening to hunger and fullness cues, eating slowly, chewing well, taking your vitamins. Yes, I say that because most people go, vitamins. Moving your body, allowing yourself rest. And all of these key things, they all come into what I call the weight loss surgery foundation eating habits. They are all self-care. They are all looking after yourself. So if we go back to that, and I know I'm going on and banging on about the definition, but I think I just want to use that to come back to self-care. We could say self-care in your bariatric journey encompasses actions taken to maintain and enhance one's physical, mental and emotional well-being. So when you learn how to eat well, you learn how to listen to your hunger and fullness cues, reach your protein goals, your fluid goals, you're moving regularly, you're taking your vitamins, you feel good, it's so much easier to look after yourself. And also, these are the key habits that help get you the best result from your bariatric journey. And also the habits that help you get the best result from your bariatric journey are the same, or your bariatric surgery are the same habits that you want to keep doing in your maintenance phase to avoid weight regain. So I want to walk you through 4 key steps that I do when I'm working with clients to kind of walk them and step them out from that low self-care space to a very focused, action-orientated self-care space in their bariatric journey. And I'm going to go through them one at a time and explain them.
Now tell me, is this you? You have had your bariatric surgery and you're feeling lost, you're lacking support and you don't know what to eat and when. Or you may have noticed after your surgery, your hunger and cravings have started to return and you are scared you won't reach your goals. You may have had some weight regain and you want to stop the weight regain and lose some more weight. You may be pre-surgery and you want support to be fully prepared for your weight loss surgery journey. If any of these sound like you, then listen up. I have developed my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp just for you. My coaching program provides education, coaching and community for people getting ready for their weight loss surgery and at every stage after their surgery.
You were so fantastic. You didn't just go, here you go, off you go. You were like, right, here you go. Let's do it step by step. And it's that step by step. If somebody's prepared to help you like that, it's immeasurable. It's priceless.
Your help just changed the game for me, right? It just changed the trajectory of my ability to understand what my body's telling me and trusting it. That was a hard one, right? Because my body, I can override it in a lot of ways in the past.
I think that hiring Jane has actually been the best thing that I've done. I was lost. I had no idea what to expect. I've never done bariatric surgery before. I've never had it done before. So yes, you have all the information from your surgeon and from their nutritionist and all that sort of stuff. If you have lifetime support, that's great. But a lot of times you don't. So you need to take that next step and invest in yourself, because that's what it is. It's the most amazing investment that I've made.
There are 4 key areas that I focus on with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp. One is the Bariatric Nutrition Basics. You will learn what and how to eat so you feel satisfied, reach your protein and fluid goals and have less cravings, and know how to manage your hunger in the future. Meal ideas and meal planning. You'll learn to plan meals and snacks that you like, so you have great options on hand when it comes time to eat. Also, we focus on mastering weight regain habits, identifying any habits that are stopping you from reaching your goals, and create manageable strategies to get back on the straight and narrow so you can manage your weight for the rest of your life. And also, I focus with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp on learning to trust your body and food. Start to enjoy your food again by relearning to listen to your body cues so you have less guilt and improve your relationship with food and your body. If you are ready to maximize your weight loss surgery results, feel confident in your journey, and be led with support and expert guidance, then the Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp is for you. If you would like to know more about my coaching program, check out the link in the show notes.
So the first one is, we get really clear about what that person, my client, they're doing or they're not doing. And often when we're really uncomfortable in where we are in life or in our body or in any space, we want to launch into action to take away that discomfort. That's why diets kind of foster that kind of, I'm using air quotes, the hope, or that kind of quick, I'll start a diet, I'm moving out of that uncomfortable place that I am when I'm not happy about what's going on where I am right now, I just want a solution, a quick fix. Well, actually, we get better results when we have a bit more of a plan and we actually collect knowledge. So the first step is, we get really clear about what my client, we do this through a process of observation, what they're currently doing and not doing. Reflect on that with compassion. We don't ruminate, so we don't stay in this space for a long time. We observe, and we get really clear about what's working. We always want to do that. Every client that comes to work with me will say, I need help, I'm not happy, or there's reasons. There's always the reasons why. I don't know what I'm doing, my weight loss has slowed down, or I want it to start again, or I've just had surgery and I'm not getting support from my bariatric centre to feel really confident, wherever they are. We always want to acknowledge what is working first, because we want to keep doing those things. What are they currently doing? It's working for them, that's good. You'll always have some things that are doing well. Great. We nurture that. We want to keep practicing those things and we celebrate that. But then we also identify, well, what's not working? Okay, what's not working for your health and also for your bariatric journey. And what are the full impacts? And we want to really be clear about that. It's really that first step is about collecting information. And it's uncomfortable. Who wants to focus on, and we're not staying there because we don't focus on or stay there of like, I'm not doing this and I know it would help, or I'm doing this and I know it would help for me to not do that. We don't stay in that space, but we acknowledge it with compassion. Second step is, my role as a coach is to move my clients from step 1 to step 2. What are 1 or 2 key areas that we will work on first? This is something we do together after we do the observation, and we have a discussion and we choose 1 or 2 key things. And sometimes the client will say, I don't know, that's fine. From my experience, I know the 1 or 2 key things we need to do first. That's why I call them Weight Loss Surgery Foundation Eating Habits, because they build on each other. We build the foundations. When 1 or 2 things start happening in your day and your life, and you start fostering those habits, then the next one is easy to put on top, and the next one on top. So we look at 1 or 2 key things. Why don't we list down 5 or 6 things? Because that is not how behaviour change works. We get best results when we work on 1 or 2 key things at a time, because we can only focus on and change so much at one time. We want to make significant changes. We want to make changes that will last the long term. These aren't quick fixes. So 1 or 2 key, really pivotal key habits is what I focus on with my clients, and we do things 1 step at a time. Dieting, I'll just come back to that dieting mindset. Dieting mindset is on Monday, I'm going to do this, 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 this. You have 10 different things you're doing from Monday. And by Friday, you're probably doing 3, and by Sunday or next Monday, it's gone. That's an example. I know I've had many clients that are wonderful dieters, very successful dieters in a sense. They can lose significant amounts of weight, stay in that restrictive state, following rules for months on end, but they can't hold it there. No one can. Your body is going to drive you to bounce into overeating cycle if you are in a restrictive state. You can only hold it for so long. So, great. So first step is get really clear about what you're currently doing or not doing. That's that observation. Number 2 is deciding on what's 1 or 2 key areas you're going to work on. So next step is step 3. And what do we do at step 3? I work with my clients around a plan, a schedule for practical action. And I talk about the theory. I can explain to my clients if they need the science. But what things come down to is really practical action. We break down what we're working on into little bite-sized chunks, bite-sized steps. We look at our environment and say, how can we set up our environment to support these changes? How would this look in your life? What does it look like for you? Everyone's life is different. Everyone's got different schedule, different home, work schedule, different ways of working. My big example is some people love spreadsheets, will plan out things for the rest of the week they're eating, and other people are like, that is never going to work for me. That is just not how I work and how I think. We need to work out how do we get a little plan of bite-sized chunks, bite-sized steps that are moving you towards your goals. How do we get them very practically into your life, into your schedule, into your home? And how do we set up your environment to support those changes? And that is why I call myself a coach. I'm a bariatric dietitian, but I call myself a coach because I help people make the really practical changes step by step. And fourth step, let's go to the fourth step. That is, every so often we review progress. And this often can be missed or skipped because human nature is also, we can be in a space of, and this is dieting mindset, what I'm not doing, what I haven't achieved, where I should be. Someone else I saw online that had surgery when I had surgery was at this point. And in that kind of glass half full comparison space, sometimes it can be really challenging to review progress and acknowledge what's actually working, what's going well. So every so often we go, okay, let's come back to our key goals. Where are we? What's working well? Lovely. Let's keep on doing those things. Let's celebrate the small wins because the big wins are made up of many, 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 many small wins that get you there. Let's be compassionate in our bariatric journey. Let's give ourselves, feed ourselves along the way by acknowledging what's working and what's working well and what you're doing well and the results of your effort that's really giving you benefit. And that can be challenging. So that can be some of the most uncomfortable place to be. We're so used to being in the negative. So it's kind of like that example of give me 3 things that you love about yourself. Whereas I can give you 10 things that I don't like, or I can give you 10 things that I don't do well, but it can be much more challenging to acknowledge what's working. And then we move into, okay, well, what's still not working? What are the areas that still will benefit from us to change, okay? And what's getting in our way? Why isn't that working? And is it ourselves? Is it the environment? What are the practical things of not working? What are the mindset barriers for it not working? Is there a lack of time? Are we not scheduling some time? A whole range of things can be getting in our way. Can we not feel like we're worth the effort? Or we feel underlying, we think this won't work. Everything else hasn't worked. I don't think this is going to work. We want to really acknowledge that. We want to bring up those subconscious thoughts about ourselves, our relationship with our body, our decision to have bariatric surgery, all of those things. We want to bring them up, okay? And we want to acknowledge them and we want to challenge them. Is it really true? Can we prioritize things a bit better? Can we look for some space where you may have had nothing planned, but you've actually got 15 minutes to do some meal planning? Because often we're telling ourselves things that aren't real. They're just things that have come up, the things we've been saying to ourselves for years. And I encourage my clients to challenge them. Can we adjust some things? Can we practice just putting in 15 minutes at that time of the day to do something for yourself? And that is finish at just for yourself. So let me just recap the steps. And these are the steps that I walk through when working with a client. And this is very top level, but I wanted to share them with you to show you how we kind of break it down to move from just things aren't working, not happy, feeling quite stuck, to how do we move through those steps to get practical action. Because weight loss, and we'll just use weight loss, I'm not going to talk about pathology and all less pain in the knees and all of those lovely things that you also get from your bariatric surgery, but weight loss is actually a lag measure. And I explain this and I talk about it all the time in my boot camp. Weight loss is a lag measure. What that means is that it's a final result. It's an outcome of action or non-action in your practical daily life, food choices, eating behaviours. And we can put so much attention and focus on weight loss that it takes the attention and focus of all of those practical things that actually drive the weight loss. So we want to measure and track ourselves to some degree, yes, in our bariatric journey to see how we're tracking, yes, but we want most of our effort and attention to be on those small practical habits and behaviours that move the needle. That's where we want our attention. And I think I started talking about recapping on the steps. I'll do that now. I just got a little bit sidetracked. The first step is we get really clear about what you're currently doing and not doing, and we reflect on what's working and what's not working. Second is, after that observation, that first step, we pick out 1 or 2 key areas to work on, to focus on. We're not picking out 6, 1 or 2 key areas, because big results are the culmination of small little wins along the way. In step 3, we will look at planning and scheduling practical action and breaking down those 1 or 2 key areas into bite-sized chunks. How do we set up our environment? How do we do this very practically? So step 2 is really about the decision of what we're going to work on. Step 3 is how do we actually make it really practical in your life and manageable. And they're saying, I can't even remember where I heard of it, how to eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. It's like, how do I climb a mountain 1 step at a time? And sometimes when you're feeling really stuck, you can look at your big goals and think, how am I ever going to get there? Well, actually, we do 1 little step at a time. So after step 3 of really breaking things down into bite-sized chunks, every so often we do step 4, or the 4th step, and that is that review process of what's working, what's the progress, celebrate, acknowledge, really see the benefits, really see the impact. And then also what's not working, what have we still got to work on? And we kind of then swing back to second step of, okay, good, we're growing that area or growing the things that are working, but we're still not, and we're never going to be 100% or perfect or anything like that. But what's not working? Okay, next round, where are we going to focus? What are those key things? And then we go from that second step to that third step again, which is getting really practical, bite-sized steps in place. And that's the process. So I hope me breaking that down and explaining each step explains how we can move out of kind of being stuck. And being stuck, people might express being stuck after the bariatric journey, or weight loss is not happening, or weight loss has stopped too early, as all about those words about weight loss and those things and feeling really stuck. But really what's underlying it is that being stuck and not being able to, not knowing how to practically move into that self-care, practical behaviour change that is needed after bariatric surgery to get the best results. And I'll just recap on that. The self-care that I'm talking about after bariatric surgery that helps gets you the best results from your surgery is eating and drinking regularly. That helps you reach your protein goals and your fluid goals. Moving your body, taking your vitamins, giving yourself rest when you need it, listening to your hunger and fullness cues, relearning how to eat that supports you listening to hunger and fullness cues. All of these key behaviours. And if we go back to why is self-care so hard? Because it requires change of long-standing habits and mindsets. So thank you all so much for listening to this podcast. I hope I have been clear today. I've got a bit of a cold. If you've noticed I'm a little bit snuffly, it's because I am. So I'm hoping I have explained things clearly and laid out and expressed what I want to express, which is you can move out of a dining mindset into a self-care mindset. And there's more benefits that you get from that mindset than just weight loss. Okay? Thank you so much for listening. If you like and enjoy my podcast, thank you so much for being here and for taking the time to listen. I love hearing when people are enjoying my podcast. It helps me really keep doing the podcast, but knowing that they're making a difference. So thank you. I would love you if you're in social media or if you're talking to a friend and you think that other people would enjoy my podcast, I'd love you to share it. I don't advertise my podcast. It's really through word of mouth. So thank you so much. And I really look forward to being back in your ears next episode. Bye for now.